class we started with the chapter on cell. Last class were you there, both of you?
I was.
This is your first class.
First class also.
Today, first class were you? Okay. So the last class we had, I just brief up what we had discussed the last class. Okay, I may not be able to repeat the entire concept. I'll just brief up what we discussed last. I had started with the chapter on cell, the fundamental unit. So I had actually started with this chapter. This is the first chapter, no? This is the first chapter. So I had started with this chapter, cell, the fundamental unit. What are the topics that we discussed the other day was? Definition, then certain examples as a part of introduction. We discussed about cell theory. We discussed about unicellular and multicellular organisms, and we discussed about prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. So this is what we had completed the other day. Now, cell, the fundamental unit, what are you supposed to understand? Cell, the fundamental unit, the basic definition always goes like this, that the structural and functional unit, always, the moment you are asked to define the word cell, the basic definition always is structural and functional unit. So, under this concept of examples, what did I discuss was, just a short brief up that under the concept of examples, here we had actually discussed that why can cell be termed as the structural and the functional unit. In your exams, you sometimes get a question that why is cell known as the structural and functional unit? Explain. So, for that, you are basically supposed to understand that any particular cell, the moment we talk about the word cell, any particular cell has a basic structure. And that is what is responsible for the structure of the organ, the tissue that it forms. That is what is responsible for the tissue that it forms, the organ that it forms. So that is what we are talking about, that cells are known as the structural organ because it gives shape, form, structure to a particular organ. Now, when we are talking about the concept of cells as structural unit as a reason, why are cells the functional unit? Because say suppose I talk about any particular cell, as just now I said, I just talk about one or two concepts here, that whenever I talk about an example, just basic one or two examples I'll talk about here. Say suppose I talk about one type of cells known as the RBCs. I talk about another type of cells known as the alveolus. RBCs are small, and that is the reason they can be numerous in our body. What type of function do they perform? They perform functions like exchange of gases. Alveolus, these are a group of cells, something like this, balloon-shaped, thin membrane, which can allow the process of, when I talk about gas exchange, let me just write here, carrier of oxygen and carbon dioxide, almost the same concept as gas exchange. So, but for alveolus, I will majorly talk about gas exchange, which means RBC and alveolus, you may think that are they doing the same thing? No, not exactly. RBCs are cells which are carrying the oxygen from one part of the body to the other. Lungs to blood, blood to tissues. So that is the way. And what are alveolus doing? These are cells of the lungs, which are allowing the process of oxygen and carbon dioxide in and out, exchange of gases. So that is the basic simple thing to understand that every particular type of cell in our body have got different shape, different structure to suit a different function. I'll just talk about that statement again. Why are cells known as a structural functional unit? Because cells make a particular, or it is the structure of cells which are responsible for the cell shape of an organ. It is the group of cells which is responsible for the structure of a tissue. It is a group of cells which is responsible for the form of an organ. Why are cells known as functional unit? Because every particular cell has got a definite function to perform, and that's the reason how it is designed. Can I say that every cell in our body is like the RBC? No. Every cell in our body is not that small. Why? Because the function of every cell is not the same. Every cell, I can talk about 5 examples right now. The muscle cell, long. The nerve cells, branched. The RBC cells, small. The WBC cells, big. And on top of that, the bone cells arranged in circular lines. So, why so much of variety when it comes to the concept of cell structure? Because the type of organ that they perform is different, and the function that they are going to perform is different. So, I gave you those concepts in written. Why is cell known as a structural and functional unit? 3 of you were not there. You were not there, no? For the first lecture. So, what will I ask you is, because if I repeat this, it becomes again a wastage of time. Let us complete the topic that I am supposed to do today. And these things I'll just brief up, and if you don't mind, can you take down this? You will just take down this as I explain. Just pass, a close so that I don't have to dictate this again. Fatafatly close. Both the girls begin sit together. And then you can pass it on to him, one of your copy, and he'll write it. So that is what I told you, and then after this we'll move on to the next topic. So that is what I told you, the different examples of cells, the different examples of cells. Next, what we talked about cell theory, we have discussed, no? Yes. Cell theory, the same thing when we talk about cell theory. So that is what he has written down. That is what I had asked him to write down. Postulates, principles of cell theory, written down. Yes. So that is what we had done. Principles of cell theory. What are the principles of cell theory? For the principles of cell theory, again, the concept of cell theory goes like this. The first principle was cells are the structural unit, and then next is cells are the functional unit, and third goes all cells arise from pre-existing cells. So this 3 postulates you have to study, you have to remember. Then we talk about unicellular, multicellular organisms. Did we finish this too? Did I give you the?
We finished prokaryotic and eukaryotic also, but just the explanation. The writing part only till cell theory.
Okay, good. So this we haven't finished. It will be common for all of you, not a problem. So first of all, when we are talking about the concept of unicellular, multicellular organisms, try finishing it up. When I finish, I'm coming.
to highlight it.
Okay, so this is what I'm actually talking about. This is what I'm actually talking about, cells, the variety. See, there so many different type of cells we can actually talk about. No, there can be the RBC, there can be the bone cells, there can be the nerve cells. And if you see, the structures are all different. Shapes, sizes, all different. Then next is, the other day I had already talked about this concept of Robert Hooke, the person who has introduced the term cell. He had been working on this. All comes under the concept of this. All comes under introduction, which I had discussed the other day. He had been working on what? He had been working on the bark cells of the stem, and he came up with the concept that the stem tissues, whenever observed, looks like honeycomb, looks like compartments, no, and then he names them as cella. So that's a simple introduction if I have to mention. So this is what you'll have to understand. And now we talk about prokaryotic and a eukaryotic cell. Prokaryotic and a eukaryotic cell. Look at the figure there, all of you. Look at the figure. This is the cell of a bacteria, bacterial cell. Look at it carefully. The bacterial cell. And if I show you a contrast, this is the animal cell. Okay. So what am I showing you is widely different structural aspects of cells. I said that this type of a cell, if you see, this type of a cell, if you see, how does it appear? And what am I trying to show you as a difference? I'm trying to show you that the bacterial cell that you saw exactly this way, where the hereditary material was all scattered. And now I also showed you an animal cell where the hereditary material was all inside in a respective region of the cell. This respective region of the cell is also known to have a membrane, a wall. It's also known to have a wall or a membrane like this. Can we see something here? No, we don't see something here. What do we call this? We call this as the nuclear membrane. We call this as the nuclear membrane. And what do we call this as? The chromosomes. The chromosomes. Together, what do we say? This is the nucleus. If I'm talking about a bacterial cell, can I see the nuclear membrane here? No, nothing. No boundary, no wall as such. But can I see the chromosomes? Yes, the word chromosome I can see here. Chromosomes are there. But nuclear membrane, no, nothing. Then what is this? This is the cytoplasm. And this is also here in this type of cell also. So that means these type of cells which does not have a proper nuclear region, but the chromosomes are there, hereditary material is there. Such type of a nucleus will be termed as the nucleoid, not a nucleus, nucleoid. This is the major difference between a prokaryotic and a eukaryotic cell. Primitive cell, pro. Advanced cell, eu. Eukaryotic and prokaryotic, a primitive and an advanced cell. But the primitive nature and the advanced nature is always judged by the nature of the nucleus. What type of a nucleus they have? An advanced nucleus or a primitive nucleus? Then what is the meaning of an advanced nucleus? An advanced nucleus should have the membrane, should have the hereditary material, and should be a different compartment in the cell. Not like this, which is all scattered. You cannot say which is the first compartment of the cell. It's all the same. So finish this and then we are going to write down the next topic, prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell and its differences. Now for the time being, you can just leave half a page, okay, to write down. And then prokaryotic and eukaryotic, finish it up first and in between I will do something, right? Prokaryotic, make a column, make a table, prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. Check the spellings properly. Prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. Prokaryotic and eukaryotic.
You have to make a difference, right?
Make a table where you and make a habit always whenever you are asked to write the difference, it should be written this way. Even if it is 1 point of difference, always write it in a tabular form. Difference always in a tabular form to write. Make it fast, little bit faster, otherwise we will not finish. At least 2-3 topics we need to finish today. The diagram of the cell you are supposed to understand today. Bit fast. Prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. Write down. First point under prokaryotic, start writing. First point under prokaryotic. First point under prokaryotic. These cells do not have a well-organized nucleus. These cells do not have a well-organized nucleus. These cells do not have a well-organized nucleus. Full stop. Same point. Nuclear membrane is absent. Same point continue. Same point under prokaryotic. Nuclear membrane is absent. Nuclear membrane is absent. And the nuclear region is known as nucleoid. Check the spelling. Nucleoid. And the nuclear region is known as nucleoid. Other side, eukaryotic. Under eukaryotic, first point. These cells have well-organized nucleus. These cells have THESE. These cells have well-organized nucleus with nuclear membrane. These cells have well-organized nucleus with nuclear membrane. With nuclear membrane. And okay, these cells have well-organized nucleus with a nuclear membrane. Full stop. Come to the next one. Prokaryotic. Okay. Number two. Under prokaryotic, you write smaller in size. Smaller in size. Smaller in size, 1 to 5 micrometer. Eukaryotic, 5 to 100 micrometer.
So should be like bigger in size.
Comparatively they are bigger. 100 micrometer. Now, if I show you this particular structure, now again I go back to the concept of an animal cell. See here, I'm showing you the structure of an animal cell. In this animal cell, can you see something known as the mitochondria?
Yeah.
Then endoplasmic reticulum. This is called
Yeah.
endoplasm, the tube-like structures. Then you have these proteins which help in cell division known as centrioles. Then we have this lysosomes which help in the digestive processes of the cell. Then we have these Golgi complexes which help in the formation of enzymes. And then the nucleus which helps in many nuclear processes, etc., etc. So now, these type of structures inside the cell, they are actually called membrane-bound organelles. What are they called? Membrane-bound. Collectively, if I have to talk about, what are they called? Membrane-bound organelles. Membrane-bound organelles. So, when I talk about a eukaryotic cell, this example that I'm showing you is a eukaryotic cell, and we get all the membrane-bound organelles there. But if I have to show you the structure of a bacteria again, so you can get all the structures there. If I show you the structure of a bacteria, can we look at all these structures in the bacterial cell? Let's see. Are these structures there in the bacterial cell? The Golgi, the plasmic reticulum, the mitochondria, the lysosomes? No, they mostly don't have. Even if they have, they may have few ribosomes, and these ribosomes are there in the eukaryotic cells also. These ribosomes are there in the eukaryotic cells also. But apart from the ribosomes, this type of cell, that is the prokaryotic cell, does not have the other membrane-bound organelles. So we are going to write down the second difference there. Write down membrane-bound organelles.
And the third one.
That's a third point. Okay. Third point.
I mean, prokaryotic, right?
Under prokaryotic. Under prokaryotic. Membrane-bound, meaning they have got distinct membranes. Membrane-bound organelles. Organelles means parts of the cell. Membrane-bound organelles. Membrane-bound organelles are absent. Membrane-bound organelles are absent. Membrane-bound organelles are absent for prokaryotic, and for eukaryotic you write membrane-bound organelles are present. Membrane-bound organelles are present. Last point of difference. Now, can you see this? Yeah, Bolu.
For the prokaryotic first point, the nuclear region is known as nucleoids. So for the eukaryotic,
They have got well organized nucleus, so we term them as nucleus. It's nucleus. Okay, see here for a prokaryotic cell. Could you see this? Chromosomes. It's this entire red thread-like structure that you get to see. This is called a chromosome. Now, as I already showed you the difference, now let me just draw and show you again. Okay, I've already drawn it here. This chromosome that I'm drawing, why did I draw it like this? I would again prefer to draw the chromosome here something this way, coiled and long. But how am I drawing this? This I am more or less trying to draw something distinct, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, something like this. So what is the difference? The difference is if I draw the chromosome structure for a prokaryotic cell, it is always to be remembered that the prokaryotic cell will always have a extensively coiled and a long and a single chromosome. It is made up of DNA, composition is more or less same. But what about the eukaryotic cell? Now the eukaryotic cell will not have a single thread. They'll have many. So I will draw 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 4 and then 5 and then 6. Each one of them are extensively coiled like this. Each one. So there are many. For example, in our cell, there are almost 46. But compare it with a bacteria, it has got only 1. Composition, more or less same. This is also made up of DNA. This is also made up of DNA. Apart from that, when I talk about a bacterial cell apart from this chromosome will also have a circular chromosome, which is known as plasmid. Is there anything like this in a eukaryotic cell? No. Let us write down these two differences. Enough for you to differentiate prokaryotic and eukaryotic. So that becomes number 3. 4. Number 4. Right. Under prokaryotic, they possess a single long, extensively coiled, chromosome. Coiled, C-O-I-L-E-D. Single, long, extensively coiled chromosome. Other side for eukaryotic. They possess many short and condensed. Condensed means extensively coiled. They possess many short and condensed, C-O-N-D-E-N-S-E-D, and condensed chromosomes. The last difference under prokaryotic, these cells have additional circular chromosomes. These cells have additional circular chromosomes known as plasmids, P-L-A-S-M-I-D. Additional circular chromosome known as plasmid. Other side, plasmids are absent. Eukaryotic, plasmids are absent. So this is what we have learned about the concept of prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. Okay, complex and simpler cells, prokaryotic and eukaryotic. Now we are going to learn the next topic there, the fourth topic there that I've written there. Unicellular, multicellular. Could you see there? Unicellular, multicellular organisms. Now we are going to learn. Say suppose, okay. Yeah, what about this? Yeast cell. Did you hear about this? What type of an organism is this? Are you aware? Yeast cell. What type of an organism it is? Fungi, no? It's a fungi. No? Now, it's a single cell. Is it a single organism? Is it a complete organism?
It is complete.
But it is not complete.
It is complete and simple, I guess.
So what is the conclusion? Did you ever come across yeast as a single organism? It is. Yes. No, it is. It's a single cell, but it's a single cell, but it's a complete organism also. It's a single cell, but it's a complete organism also. Can you name something like this?
Amoeba.
Very good. Amoeba. So what type of an organism we say these are? Unicellular. And a single cell, but एक complete organism भी है. Unicellular. तो ये तो हो गया yeast जो एक complete organism भी है और single cell भी है. Let me show you something more. अमीबा है. कभी सुना ये सब नाम? पैरामेशियम, यूग्लेना. So they belong to the same category. Single cell, but a complete organism. So what will we say? These are unicellular organisms. But at the same time, अगर मैं ये example दिखाऊं, ये भी तो एक single cell है, RBC. Is this a complete organism? No. This is a type of a cell inside our body. This is not an organism as such. This is not an organism as such. What about this? Why are you late? आज तो छुट्टी थी ना? तो हाँ? बाहर गए थे? अरे, extra time भूल गए? इस तरह से तुम हर दिन 15 मिनट 20 मिनट if you're coming late, you're losing. You're losing. Okay, so now this is a single cell. Is this a complete organism? This is the nerve cells of our body. Is this a complete organism? Nahi. So if I talk about single-celled organisms, now that I'm talking about single-celled organisms, so what is the other contrast? Multicellular organism. So basic matlab kya hua? Single-cell organism made up of only one single cell. Unicellular organism made up of only one single cell. What are we? Multicellular. एक और multicellular cell का example दे सकते हो?
Animals.
Animals. Very good. Very good. So when we are talking about any type of a plant, any animal, the parrot, the pigeon, the elephant, the lion, the cat, the dog, the human, all are multicellular. कोई भी organism जिसमें a group of cells है and few cells से लेके 1000 million cells.
Basically, all living organisms are multicellular.
नहीं, not necessarily. now that अभी जो मैंने amoeba दिखाया, that's also living, but वो unicellular है. आया समझ में? Unicellular है. Now these are a group of organisms. Now say suppose there are so many bacteria. वो भी तो living organism है. Why do you say that they are living? Because they can multiply, they can grow. Right now, near your eyes, near your nose, there are hundreds of bacteria roaming around. Can you see that? No, we cannot, because they are so small. But they can multiply in hundreds. They are living. तो वैसे तो अमीबा भी living है, पैरामीशियम भी living है, यूग्लेना भी living है, क्लोरोफाइटोमोनास जो water में रहता है, कौन ले? These are also living. But at the same time, when I talk about ourselves, the plants, the birds, the fishes, the insects, all multicellular. So basic concept क्या है for a unicellular and a multicellular group of organisms? अगर unicellular है, only one cell. Multicellular है, तो many cells. So वो 2 cells से भी हो सकता है. An organism which is made up of 5 cells, वो भी multicellular है. Organism made up of 100 cells, वो भी multicellular है. Organism made up of millions of cells like us, वो भी multicellular है. Now categories है, we are not talking about those steps right now, but we are learning right now only the 2 extremes, unicellular, multicellular. वैसे तो multicellular के बहुत categories है. Now, if you tell me, if you realize, say suppose, in your house, how many members in your house? I'm not going to add on, don't worry. खाली बताओ, तुम्हारे घर पे कितने members हैं? 6, very good. 6. Your father goes out for job. Probably your mother also goes out for job. So your mother takes care of the house also. You have siblings? Siblings hai, sister brother hai. So your sister, your brother must be doing some house responsibilities. You also must be having house responsibilities. Cooking food, etc., washing and cleaning. If you are left alone in the house, if she is left alone in the house, ये जो अभी 5 लोग 6 लोग मिलके सारे रिस्पांसिबिलिटीज घर का निभा रहे थे, 1 or 2 of them earning money, another 1 or 2 of them taking proper care of the house, cooking food and washing and cleaning and sending to school and picking up. तो अगर ये अकेली रहेगी घर पे, then she has to take care of all the responsibilities. She has to do all the work. Say suppose now in the month of May, she is left alone in the house. Nobody takes her for holiday, and the rest of the family goes to Manali for a holiday. क्या होगा? Cooking and cleaning and washing, सब इस पे कई लोग बाकी लोग सब चले गए holiday पे. So now she is behaving almost like an unicellular organism. A unicellular organism has to perform all the functions by its own. That single cell, respiration also, excretion also, nutrition also, transportation also, reproduction, everything. But for a multicellular organism like us, we have got different group of cells जो different functions play करता है. Some group of cells for nervous coordination like memory, speech, sight, etc. Another group of cells for digestive system for digestion. Another group of cells like the blood cells and all for transportation. Another group of cells like the kidneys and all for excretion. So there are different group of cells for different function. इसको बोलते हैं division of work, division of labor. So जो concept है division of labor की वो multicellular organism में है, unicellular में है? No, it's not there. For a unicellular organism, all the different type of physiological processes has to be carried out by the same organism. But in a multicellular organism, that facility is there. एक group of cell पे या एक cell पे पूरा burden नहीं है, because there are billions of cells. We'll write down the differences. Make a column again, make a table again. Unicellular and multicellular organisms. Unicellular, multicellular organism. New horizon. You have a new horizon.
Yes, ma'am.
And new, the rest, four of it? Theta.
Mahish. Mahishi.
Mahish.
It's school.
APJ.
RISS.
Relax.
Land International.
अच्छा इसको तुम लोग अभी RISS बोलने लगे क्या? चलो take out your book fast. चलो unicellular, multicellular, under unicellular लिखो. Under unicellular.
Unicellular, multicellular.
Multicellular. वो कॉलम बनाओ फटाफट. Unicellular, multicellular. Under unicellular. Now these are important points you have to read. Remember, exam में इसी तरह से neatly लिखना है. Okay. Under unicellular, these organisms, THESE, these organisms, make it fast. These organisms are made up of only one cell. These organisms are made up of only one cell. Unicellular, under unicellular, these organisms are made up of only one cell. Under multicellular, these organisms are made up of large number of cells. These organisms are under multicellular. These organisms are made up of large number of cells. Number two. लिखो. Under unicellular, membrane-bound organelles. In the previous table also you have written, no? Membrane-bound organelles. वही same लिखना है. Membrane-bound organelles are almost absent. Membrane-bound organelles are almost absent except for. Membrane-bound organelles are almost absent except for few. Mitochondria and ribosomes. Membrane-bound organelles are almost absent except for few. Mitochondria and ribosomes. Other side, eukaryotic. Multicellular. Under multicellular, all membrane-bound organelles are present. All membrane-bound organelles are present. All membrane bound organelles are present. इसमें सारे होते हैं ना, माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया, राइबोसोम, गोल्गी, सब प्रेजेंट है. All membrane bound organelles are present. What you are writing, समझ के लिखो. Okay. Third, under unicellular, all important functions are carried out by the same cell. All important functions are carried out by the same cell. All important functions are carried out by the same cell. Multicellular, different groups of cells perform different functions. Different groups of cells perform different functions. Different groups of cells perform different functions. None. That is, same point. That is, they have division of labor. Division of labor. That is, they have, labor means work. That is, they have division of labor. Now, write two examples. Already I gave you examples of unicellular organisms. Already I have shown you. Now, you write two examples each for multicellular and unicellular. देखो, two examples each for unicellular and multicellular. Two examples each for unicellular and multicellular. Done? What did you write? Unicellular, what did you write?
From starting I have to read.
Examples, what did you write?
Okay, we have to write. I thought you were dictating.
तो मैंने दिखाया ना examples, अभी लिखो, फटाफट लिखो अपने आप.
Oh, okay.
Two examples you write for unicellular, two for multicellular. Did you write? क्या लिखा होता? Yeast and amoeba. Very good. लिखो फटाफट लिखो. क्या लिखा तुमने multicellular?
Ma'am, animals, plants,
human ऐसे नहीं लिखो. Examples लिखो. Animals and plants are big, huge categories. Multicellular examples मैंने पूछा है. Write any two examples. Dolphin, human, dog, cat, parrot, pigeon. कुछ भी ऐसे examples लिखना है. Okay. Unicellular. You can write paramecium, you can write euglena, you can write amoeba, you can write yeast. These are all examples of unicellular, multicellular. Okay, so this is what we have studied. Now, very fast, we are going to take up the diagram. I don't think we'll be able to finish today. We'll draw the diagram tomorrow, the other day, the next day, never mind. But let us at least try to understand what should a well-developed cell possess. I'll show you this diagram. Get acquainted with this diagram. We are going to draw this the next day. Get acquainted with the diagram, and this is an animal cell that we are going to draw the next class. What are the two parts? The two parts, one is cell membrane. Could you locate the cell membrane in the figure?
Yes.
Okay, the next part is nucleus. Could you locate the nucleus in the figure?
Yes.
And the third part is cytoplasm.
Yes.
Could you locate the cytoplasm in the figure? Correct. Under or in the cytoplasm, now we talk about the membrane bound organelles. Prominent organelles are which ones? Keep locating. Mitochondria.
Yes.
Endoplasmic reticulum. दिखाई दे रहा है?
And which one?
Endoplasmic reticulum.
Which?
है देखो स्मूथ ER देखा एंडोप्लाज्मिक रेटिकुलम Golgi complex या apparatus दिखाई दे रहा है Golgi complex apparatus lysosomes
Yes.
ribosomes
Yes.
centrioles yes or no
Yes. No. Yes.
centrioles and what are the other important we'll talk about nucleus
Microtubules.
Microtubules you don't have in your syllabus, so we're not talking about this. We'll be talking about this major cell organelle. What is the meaning of the word cell organelle? Part of a cell. Something like if I say what are cell organelles, how can we compare cell organelles with our body parts? We have got the heart for pumping blood. We have got the lungs for exchange of gases. We have got the brain for coordination, memory. We have got the excretory, or we have got the kidneys for filtration of blood excretion. So same like that, the cell also has all these important parts for carrying out different functions. The cell also has got all these different parts for carrying out all these different functions. So these organelles are same like the organs of our body, which perform different functions. Organelles also perform different functions. Okay. So the next class we are going to draw this. Take two questions which you are going to do as homework. And that may be one or two questions can be from the previous part also, so that you will finish writing. Before you go home today, finish that writing, the first class part. Number one, question number one. Name the biologist who coined the term cell. Name the biologist who coined the term cell. Name the biologist who coined the term cell. Name the biologist who coined the term cell.
Yeah.
Okay. Name the biologist who coined the term cell. Next is give two examples of membrane bound organelles. You know the names now. Give two examples of membrane bound organelles present in animal cell. Number 3. Membrane bound organelles present in animal cell. Number 3. Number 3. Explain the statement. Explain the statement with an example. Explain the statement with an example. Explain the statement with an example. Organisms like human have division of labor. Organisms like human have division of labor. Will you be able to write this on your own? Will you be able to write this on your own?
Can you repeat?
I'll say again. Explain the statement. Explain the statement. Organisms like human have division of labor. Explain with examples. Or explain the statement with an example. Organisms like human have division of labor. Will you be able to write? So this remains as homework. The next day, these 3 questions will be done. And for you 3, complete what I gave you, because 1 or 2 questions from that part. Complete this, and next class, positively, all of you should have your own pencil eraser sharpener. We'll draw the diagram of animals.
I'm not touching the notes.